Oh boy, we are back again. Happy Friday, everybody. Lord help us, but it's time to do the show. I hope you're all having a fantastic, or at least tolerable week. It's been a rough month for a lot of people, I think. Anyway, we are here to excoriate, demean, criticize, and in the rare moments when it's appropriate, praise the ever-floundering video game industry. And as such, we have got a bunch of stuff to catch up on, including Sony's most recent state of play, which was a thing, definitely. So let's get deep inside right away. And let's begin with a quick recap of the week, which has been, well, not fantastic, let's say. First up on the docket is Square Enix, your boy and mine, and the announcement that they're dropping PS5 exclusivity after disappointing sales of FF16 and the FF7 remake. Now, there are a lot of things that I could say in response to this, quite a bit of editorializing, so to speak, but I'm not going to. I think my position has been made exceptionally clear, so instead I'm simply going to point out that less exclusivity is overall a good thing for customers, and I'm happy about that. I hope everyone that wants to play Final Fantasy is able to do it. Next up, it's time for the Ubisoft bad portion of the broadcast. That's right, the new Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer is dropped with predictable reactions from all across the internet. We had the classic group of people who'd rather be out committing hate crimes than playing video games, complaining that there's a black guy in it. Oh god, of course, oh the horror, right? And then we had the rest of, normal people pointing out normal stuff, like how Ubisoft's games seem to get increasingly anti-consumer and how they're monetized and sold and how much that sucks. I've never really played Assassin's Creed myself beyond the Revolutionary War one. I think that's 3, maybe. So I don't give a shit. But if you have, you should. I mean, locking side quests and features like New Game Plus behind paywalls, that's pretty out there even for Ubisoft. What isn't, though, especially for Ubisoft, is showing no gameplay but accepting pre-orders in the hundreds of dollars. But no, it's the black guy that's the problem with this one. But hey, remember guys, if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, so perhaps there will be a happy ending here after all. Lastly this week, Hellblade 2 dropped and, well, people actually thought it was kind of mid, and that's a bummer because I think everyone, including myself, was rooting for these guys to pull out another banger, and now instead they've got low Steam numbers and surrounded by Xbox studio shutdowns. Did any of y'all play this? Was it better than everyone is making it sound? I hope so, and I hope the studio pulls through without Microsoft's wrong arm of the law reaching over to embrace and annihilate them. Let's cross our fingers for them. This is a serious bummer. Moving on, for our main story tonight, we need to discuss Sony's recent state of play for, well, quite a bit of reasons, actually. We'll go through it all, but suffice it to say, it was overall kind of a complete snooze fest filled with a bunch of token port announcements and VR shovelware, and a new trailer for the Silent Hill 2 remake. Yeah, I know. We'll get to it, don't worry. It wasn't a complete wash, though. There were maybe 1 or 2 things that weren't a total waste of everyone's time, but I digress. Let's, I suppose we better go ahead and get started. First up is a game called Concord, yet another goddamn competitive hero shooter. Wow, this time from Sony, who cannot seem to suffer the existence of any semi-profitable bandwagon that they haven't tried multiple times to jump on. You see, right as this starts, it already looks like generic sci-fi Unity Asset Pack 02, and it doesn't get any better from here. Can someone explain to me how any interest remains anywhere for this kind of game? Between Apex, Valorant, and Overwatch, like, is there any ground left to cover? Concord looks exactly the way you'd expect, like a computer-generated mathematical composite of all the most popular hero shooters that already exist. Actually, that's probably literally what it is. We all know that most of this stuff is made by either committee design, concocted by an algorithm, or some cruelly twisted amalgam of both. Yes, Sony, I don't doubt that a bunch of computers told you this would make you money, but here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna. Moving on, we've got the God of War Ragnarok PC version announcement. This should really come as no surprise to anyone, I think. With the recent Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard and games like Call of Duty, plus rising costs and stagnant audience sizes coupled with poor sales of games like FF16 and 7, it was inevitable that platform exclusivity would rapidly become a thing of the past, and I think that's awesome. The PC version of Ragnarok will include a bunch of PC goodies that many of us have come to expect, like unlocked frame rates, upscaling super ultra widescreen support, as well as New Game Plus and the Valhalla DLC. Great! So what's the problem? Because there's always a problem, right? Well, it seems like Sony has yet to learn their lesson, or any lesson, really, regarding the forced use of PSN accounts to play games on PC. Piracy aside, the main reason that PSN restriction is a problem is because, like we saw with Helldivers 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, there were over 177 countries where PSN can't be accessed. So if you live in one of those places, you're just fucked. Otherwise, it'll be out September 19th. Jesus fucking Christ, Sony, get your shit together. Next up is new Dynasty Warriors, holy shit. I didn't think I'd be saying that anytime soon. That's right, Dynasty Warriors Origins seems like a relatively faithful follow-up to the long-running, let's say, excessive hack-and-slash game genre. Follow-up that we haven't seen for, I guess, almost 7 years now at this point. This series has been around for so long, you most likely already know how you feel about it, and that's probably not going to change. You either love it, hate it, or don't care. For those of us that love it, this is super sick news. Can't wait. Bring it the fuck on. Next, we've got something truly bizarre, a game called Infinity Nikki. I was getting ready to think this sort of looked kind of cool, open world game about dressing up characters, cool fantasy setting. Sounds interesting. Then I found out it's just an expansion on a Chinese mobile game. Next. Moving on, we now come to Ballad of Antara. Ooh. Sadly for this otherwise decent looking fantasy action game, I think most of the genuine creativity here was used up in the name, because I don't know about you, I can't see this as anything other than yet one more Souls-like clone, and I'm sorry, I just don't have the stomach or mental bandwidth for more Souls-like games. Maybe you do, that's great, and if so, this looks pretty cool, but that's about all I can say for it, because, you know, they literally don't tell us anything else about it. 2025, fantastic. Ugh, try harder, Sony, try again. No, not like this. I meant with like actual games, not VR gimmicks. Sorry, we're not gonna waste anyone's time talking about VR games. I don't care if one is a shameless attempt to cash in on the Aliens franchise and the success of Alien Isolation. VR is a gimmick, shit sucks, let's keep it moving. Next up we have Marvel Rivals, snore. Now that's something we haven't seen in a while, right guys? A Marvel cash-in. To quote Mashable, you gotta hand it to Sony, who somehow found space for 2 Overwatch clones in one state of play stream. Pretty impressive, guys. I don't have anything to say about this one. I'm sick to death of Marvel shit, and I'm sick to death of hero shooters and Overwatch clones. I couldn't possibly care less. If this looks cool to you, closed beta starts in July. Otherwise, let's keep it moving. Next, there was a trailer for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the game, or Where Winds Meet, whatever. This is another one of those games that ostensibly looks cool, but since they provide literally zero additional info, there's simply nothing else to say. I do like that more games from Chinese devs are being localized, though. That's pretty awesome.
That's good.
Then we had a rather boring port announcement for a rather boring game, Until Dawn. I don't care. You don't care. Nobody cares. Sorry, Sony. Then, I guess, this is fun. Let's talk about Path of Exile 2, finally coming to console and including couch co-op. Now that is fucking sick. We hardly ever see couch co-op anymore, mostly due to console manufacturers and devs preferring to funnel everybody into their overpriced, exploitative, and exhaustively paywalled online services. Thanks Xbox Live for normalizing that for all of us. Nothing like being forced to pay extra simply to play a game online. Anyway, this is actually good news. I should shut the fuck up. I'm trying not to be negative. If you haven't played Path of Exile, it's ostensibly the ARPG that all other ARPGs desperately struggle to measure up to, even Diablo. Especially Diablo, actually. I would imagine it's kind of embarrassing for Blizzard to be the guys who wrote the book on ARPGs, only to suddenly see everyone throw that book out and start using another one made by an indie team who thinks that you're all a pile of shit. Actually, I guess if you think about it, Blizzard itself never really did make a truly good Diablo game. D1 and 2 were made by Blizzard North, which, if you don't know, was actually a completely independent developer named Condor, who was acquired by Blizzard, and they had complete autonomy at the time that they made D1, D2, and the expansion Lords of Destruction. So maybe Blizzard was actually always just kind of shit. Huh. Wrapping things up, Sony also showed off a platformer and the new Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Wilds. The former Astrobot, while admittedly cute, it's essentially just a PlayStation ad that you have to pay for. Cute, yes, but not $70 cute. Give this away for free to anyone with a PS5 and I'll change my tune, but otherwise, sorry Sony, that's a pass, my G. As for Monster Hunter Wilds, I don't really play these games, so it means nothing to me. But for what it's worth, the newer ones have been almost universally well received, and this one looks to be no different. So Looks like it's a good time to be a Monster Hunter fan. I think that's great. Finally tonight, for our finale, I've saved the best for last because it's also a Secret I Told You So segment. That's right, a few short months since my last video discussing the Silent Hill franchise and my concerns for the remake was met with hysterics, disdain, and just overall kind of unhinged mania. I'm back after watching the new trailer to say, I fucking told you so. That's right, I fucking told you so. I told you Konami was gonna fuck this shit the fuck up. I honestly wish I didn't and that I was wrong, but after watching this new trailer, can you really say I was? You really need only look at the comments on this to get an idea of just how poorly this was received. Did Konami just look at Resident Evil 4 remake and think, we could probably do it for cheaper? Angela looks like my uncle. The remake already needs another remake. Angela looks like she was stung by bees. Well, those were some of my favorites. And one look at this will tell you that they're all well-deserved. Stiff movement, low-quality animations, ridiculous-looking character redesigns, supermarket lighting, and voice acting that sounds AI-generated. They're just checking all the Konami boxes, aren't they? God damn it, Konami, why must you always insist on proving everyone right when they say you can't fucking make anything anymore? Not even money. Yes, it's not out yet, and things could still change, though I don't know by how much. And yes, some of the combat does look slightly improved from the last gameplay trailer. And sure, maybe these trailers don't accurately portray the game. Maybe it'll be better when you're actually playing it. Maybe it's not as bad as it clearly seems to be now. Maybe. But I have to ask, if you're one of the people that are not concerned about this at all, what sort of standards do you have? Can you describe them to me? Does a game simply need to appear adequately upscaled for you to declare that it looks good and it's gonna be a great remake? Is merely being in 4K enough now? Fuck the atmosphere, character design, shaders, texture work, storytelling. It's in high res, so I'm good with it. Must be dope. Tifa looks hot, so it's an automatic 10. Is that the take here? I honestly don't get it. I understand that we all want it to be good, but I'm not gonna go so far as to pretend that it is when it clearly is not. Anyways, I'll see y'all there on October 8th to find out for sure and of course to take part in the mass suicide.
Woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out, Woke up, what up, smoke up, blunt, then I'm back down. Back down, what? Woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out, Woke up, what up, smoke up.